All right, welcome to another series of things you think are really hard, but they're actually not that bad. And today we're going to change some guitar strings. Now, I have a lot of tools in front of me, but you really don't need anything besides new strings. You probably have a guitar sitting at home if you're watching this video that the strings have not been changed in many years, and that is unacceptable. So I, for reference, change my guitar strings about every 6 months if I'm not lazy. We could talk all day about strings to use, but I'm using the D'Addario EJ11s just because they sound nice, and I don't want to defend myself. All right, so what I'm going to do is take the strings off. Again, these are not tools you need. You can do this without it, but I'm going to take a fancy tool called a winder, and I'm just going to wind the strings tension down a little bit. So now there's no pitch on it, and I'm going to just do that to all my strings. All right, now that my string tension is gone, I'm actually just going to take some wire cutters and go right over the sound hole. I'm just going to cut all these off. Nice sharp cutters will get you through it. If you do this with the tension on, they kind of snap back really quick, which is why I took the tension off. And boom, there we go. So it's got out of my way, and now I gotta take the strings off. So up on the top, you just simply untangle it, and you throw it out on the ground. It's probably gonna wreak havoc on your vacuum machine, which is why I never vacuum in here. Now the other end, you've got what's called the bridge pins. They're these little pegs. They almost look like wisdom teeth, and a winder can help pull them out. You can also go in from underneath and push them out, which I think is easier, but these tools have a little notch on them that you can kind of pivot your way, but sometimes the shape just doesn't work. I don't really mess around with that, but I just pop them out like this. Also, how not to lose things 101. Always have a box that you put things in, whether you're unscrewing little things. These things like to roll away from you, and there you go. We've got a nice looking guitar. It's the world's quietest guitar right now. And now for my favorite part. We're gonna oil the neck. This is not necessary, but it's very necessary, if you know what I mean. This is called lemon oil. You can get it at any hardware store. It's really cheap, but since this bottle is made for guitars, it's $7, but you can get the same thing for like 50 cents probably somewhere. This one just has a fancy applicator. What I'm gonna do is just put it right on the fretboard, and this color right here, if you can see that on camera, that's the original color of the wood. There's no way you can say this step is unnecessary after you see that. It brings out the wood grain, it stops it from maybe cracking, and you can really see just this is what it's supposed to look like. That's what it looks like. You might not even think, you might look at your guitar and think, mine's fine. But until you actually put it on, you'd be amazed at what it's supposed to look like. Make sure to oil your bridge. That one also needs a little bit of love. Get around the edges, and there we go. After that, I would normally let it sit for a little bit. I'm about efficiency, so I'm gonna take a nice clean rag, never been used before, and just take it off just a little bit. There we go. Step one is getting one of your bridge pins, and you've got a little ridge on that thing. What that does is it tucks against the string, so always face it towards the sound hole. You're gonna put that right in the end. Don't stick it all the way down there. You'll cause problems later. You're gonna stick it right at the base, take your bridge pin and push it down. After that, pull any slack out, just like that. If you don't do that and you start tightening the string, it pops and it scares you because you think your string's breaking, but it's fine. Now I'm gonna go to the other end and find the right bridge pin. I'm gonna put a graphic up of the order to go. It's a counterclockwise motion. Counterclockwise means the opposite of clock. Now you're gonna just move your turner peg so you can see the hole in front of it and just put it through. Pull that through, and you need a certain amount of slack. You don't wanna pull it tight because you need to wind this thing around the tuning peg. So I do a good loose hand's worth of slack there, And now I'm going to take my winder. Again, you don't need this. You can do it with your hands, but I live my life in a way of the least amount of work possible is what I'm going to do. As you can see, the string moves in towards the guitar. That means you're going the right way. Now I'm going to pull pressure backwards. Keep this tight. You don't care about this. Fine. This needs to be tight, and I'm also going to take this and just pull it upwards. This slack gets it out of the way. And then you just spin. Spin, 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 spin. Good. Now that I've got some pressure on here, I'm just going to take my thumb and push down on that bridge pin because they've gone flying across the room before. So there we go. And look what I've done. I've already made a mistake. If you notice, when I oiled the bridge pin, I forgot to put the saddle back in. So I've tuned I've changed strings for about 200 guitars probably. I've made this mistake 200 times. Beautiful. We've got the low E string in, and it sounds absolutely gorgeous. Let's go to the next one. Take your tooth, hatch side, put it right in the bass. Don't stick it in there. Pull the slack out. Bring it to the other side. Continue up your tuning peg. Thread it through. Put your hand in nice and loose. Winder counterclockwise. Make sure it's going in towards the guitar. Pull it back and wind again. There we are. About to hear the best sound known to mankind. Isn't that lovely? Some people like to leave these dangles on. I don't trust those people. They make me uncomfortable. So I just take my wire clippers. Again, you got a flat side of your wire clippers, not flat side. Make sure you use the flat side. If you use the not flat side and cut it off, I'll show you. Do that. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little pointy bit on there. That is itching to poke you. There we go, and voila. We have gotten a stringed guitar. Lastly, you would just tune it up like you normally do. You will also find you get this thing in tune, it's great, you give it a strum and you think, oh no, this sounds absolutely disgusting. That is 2 reasons what's happening. By the time you start here and you tune all the way up, this one's already fallen out of tune, the first one. Strings are meant to be stretched, so when you tune it, it's going to relax a little bit more, fall flatter and flatter. So keep tuning it up for a couple days, and then once they're at their max stretchness, it'll be fine. The other reason why it might sound kind of gross is new strings have a very distinct sound. If you ever have a live show, most people try to change their strings a few days before. They're very metallic-y sounding. Personally, me, I love that sound. But I guess I'm weird that that's not a thing. It's just like how I love the smell of Sharpie. A bad thing to like. And with that, you've got an oiled neck. You've got new strings, nice and clean. And after that, the only thing you gotta do now is test the sound. And just like you would if you went into any guitar store and you wanted to play a guitar, is you just play a G chord, pretend to listen to it, and just contemplate. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, there we go. So congratulations, you've changed your strings. No more excuses. Get those old, disgusting, black colored ones off. Put the new strings on. Live a happier life, and then in 6 months, put an alarm on your phone. Make sure you do it again. In fact, every season when it changes, just put your new strings on and just enjoy life to its fullest. Okay, that's it. I'm done.